Hello, everyone, and thank you for the important work you do supporting teachers across our district. Today, we're going to focus on Andragogy, the science of adult learning, and why understanding it is essential when designing and delivering effective professional development for educators. As curriculum leaders, we are not only responsible for what teachers learn, but how that learning is experienced. When professional development aligns with how adults learn best, it becomes more meaningful, engaging, and ultimately more impactful in classrooms. Andragogy is a theory of adult learning developed by Malcolm Knowles. Unlike pedagogy, which focuses on how children learn, Andragogy emphasizes the unique characteristics, motivations, and needs of adult learners. Knowles identified 5 core assumptions about adult learners that should guide professional learning design. First, adults are self-directed learners. They want autonomy and choice in their learning and prefer opportunities to take ownership rather than being passive recipients of information. Second, adults bring a wealth of prior experience. Teachers come to professional development with years of classroom practice, beliefs, and expertise. Effective learning builds on those experiences rather than ignoring or replacing them. Third, adults are ready to learn when the content is immediately relevant. Teachers are most engaged when professional development addresses real challenges they are currently facing in their classrooms. Fourth, adult learning is problem-centered rather than content-centered. Adults prefer learning that helps them solve authentic problems rather than abstract theory disconnected from practice. Finally, adults are internally motivated. While external requirements may bring teachers to a session, sustained engagement comes from seeing value, growth, and purpose in the learning. Understanding these assumptions helps us design professional development that respects teachers as professionals and maximizes learning outcomes. Applying andragogical principles is essential because professional development that ignores how adults learn often leads to resistance, disengagement, or surface-level compliance. Teachers may attend sessions, but without relevance or ownership, implementation is unlikely. When professional learning honors autonomy, relevance, and experience, teachers are more interested and more likely to transfer new learning into practice. Andragogy also supports trust building. When teachers feel respected and understood, they are more open to instructional change, reflection, and growth. Ultimately, professional development grounded in adult learning theory leads to deeper collaboration, stronger instructional practices, and improved student outcomes. There are several best practices that curriculum leaders should model and share with site-based facilitators. The first best practice is clearly communicating relevance and purpose. Begin every presentation by answering the question adult learners are already asking. Why does this matter? How will this help my students? How will this make my work more effective? Making the connection to classroom practice explicit increases buy-in and engagement. The second best practice is actively involving participants. Adult learners benefit from discussion, reflection, collaboration, and problem solving. Instead of long lectures, incorporate structured dialogue, case studies, collaborative planning time, or opportunities to apply learning to real instructional scenarios. The third best practice is honoring choice and flexibility. Whenever possible, provide options for how teachers engage with content. This could include choice in breakout sessions, multiple pathways for applying strategies, or varied formats for follow-up implementation. Choice reinforces autonomy and respects professional expertise. A fourth best practice is building in reflection and application. Adults learn best when they have time to process new information and consider how it fits in with their existing practice. Reflection prompts, action, planning, and follow-up support help ensure learning is sustained beyond the session. An often overlooked aspect of effective professional development is the impact of cultural, ethnic, and gender biases, both from presenters and participants. These biases, whether conscious or unconscious, can affect how messages are received, whose voices are valued, and who feels included. Presenters may unintentionally privilege certain perspectives, communication styles, or examples that do not reflect the diversity of educators and students within a district. Likewise, participants may interpret content through their own cultural lenses, which can influence engagement or resistance. To reduce bias, curriculum leaders should intentionally use inclusive language and examples that reflect diverse classrooms and communities. Avoid assumptions about teaching contexts, student populations, or access to resources. Another key strategy is creating space for multiple voices. Structured protocols that ensure equitable participation help prevent dominant voices from overshadowing others. Listening actively and validating different perspectives reinforces psychological safety. Finally, leaders should engage in ongoing self-reflection. Examining one's own beliefs, assumptions, and positionality strengthens cultural humility and improves facilitation practices. When professional development environments model respect, equity, and inclusion, learning becomes more effective for everyone involved. In closing, understanding andragogy is not optional for curriculum leaders. It is foundational. By grounding professional development in adult learning theory, we respect teachers as professionals, increase engagement, and support meaningful instructional change. As you support site-based facilitators, I encourage you to model these principles and embed them into every learning experience you design. Thank you for your leadership and commitment to high-quality professional learning across our district.